So there's many definitions of a positive mindset. This one resonated with me most of all. So positive thinking actually means approaching life's challenges with a positive outlook. It does not necessarily mean avoiding or ignoring the bad things. Instead, it involves making the most of the potentially bad situation, trying to see the best in other people and viewing yourself and your abilities in a positive light. So this concept changed my life on so many levels. As a young man, which wasn't that long ago, I used to always see things from a negative side of things in regards to just life, I used to always say to myself, I'm going to have such a terrible day tomorrow at work. I used to work at a call center and used to have to deal with some challenging customers, clients. And I always used to say, oh, I'm going to have a terrible day. My day is going to be so challenging. And my day would always be challenging and it would always be bad. And one day I thought, let me change what I'm saying. Let me change the narrative. And I said, I'm going to have a good day tomorrow. And I had an amazing day. So I just started living my life with positivity. And in fact, life in general, this journey, this adventure that we're all on is but a school. We're here to learn. And life has a way of guiding us to certain situations in order for us to learn through those situations and through the people that we encounter on our journey, on this adventure called life. So we have to make sure that we have a mindset of growth and know that every single challenging situation is an opportunity for growth and to learn. So where does our mindset come from? Majority of our thinking stems from childhood, even though it's continuous. Even now, we are constantly taking in people's opinions of us. As a child, I always used to be told that I'm naughty. So doing naughty things was natural for me, So there's 4 different sections here, as you can all see. So our parents and family, teachers, friends, and our environment. So a lot of the time during our childhood years, we are told certain things, which is people's opinion. And a lot of the time, what happens is we take those opinions as fact, and then we make it our beliefs. And as we grow up, certain situations reinforce these things that have been said, and we end up living our lives because of these opinions. And now we tell ourselves things that has been said, and a lot of the time we even forget that it's been said to us. These limiting self-beliefs, these negative thoughts that we all have stems from somewhere. So the key is to rewire your mind, rewire your thinking, and know that every single negative self-talk that we all have as it stems from somebody's opinion. It's not fact. So we have to make sure that we keep a conscious accountability of the things we say to ourselves, of the way we see ourselves. We live in a day and age now where we're constantly being influenced by external factors in how the norm should be, the ideal should be, how beauty should be, how a man should be, how a woman should be. And these are just noise, the noise of the outside world. that doesn't have to be your reality. So we have to be very conscious of that self-talk, because that will create our world, our life. The power of thoughts. You become what you think about. Every single thought that goes through our mind becomes a reality, becomes form. A lot of the times we don't even realize that what we put out will always come back to us. So each thought that we think becomes real, becomes a form in itself, and like attracts like. So as we send out these thoughts, it's reinforced. There's a worlds within worlds. There's so many levels in every single topic. And as deep as this might sound, this is still just surface. So we have to be very careful of and be accountable of our thoughts, because whatever you think, you will attract. So for example, I used to always say I'm going to have a bad day, and my day would always be that, because I put it out there. I had a good friend of mine, when I was in my younger days, he said to me, think about all the situations that you've been involved in. I made a lot of mistakes, which are actually not mistakes. Now they're lessons, because I learned from it. So he said, think about all the situations that you've been in, and who caused it. And I've always been good at reflecting on past experiences. So I had a good think in regards to certain situations that I've been involved in. And regardless of what other people did, it was my action which stemmed from my thought that resulted in whatever situation occurred. So be very careful and be accountable for your thoughts. These are very precious times, and we have to do things differently, and we have to have a deeper knowledge of things. And we move on to the power of intuition, the gut feeling, because that's where your intuition, your spirit lies, because you're not just a physical body. There's so much more to us than what we can see. There's so much more to life than meets the eye. So these are times where we have to listen to our intuition, and we always know, and we always, that first instinct where we in certain situations, we say, oh, I knew I should have listened to my gut feeling, because it's always right. It's always right. So life is a reflection of your thoughts. We've more or less gone through this. You change your thoughts and you will change your life. And once again, this is exactly what happened. So let's go a little bit deeper. So I'm going to give you a little backstory in regards to a very definitive time for me, which was 2001, when my first child was born. And he was born really early, 1 pound, 12 ounces, almost 4 months early. And the doctors, after the second day, he passed away, and he was resuscitated, and they brought him back, and he had a bleed. He had a bleed in his brain. And the doctors,
are you seeing yourself clear?
The doctors explained that in fact, they asked us, myself and his mother, what should they do if he goes again? And my first instinct was, what do you mean, bring him back? And then they explained there might not be anything to bring back because he's already had a grade 4 bleed, which is the most. So they grade it. 1 is the least, 4 is the most, and he had a grade 4 bleed. And they said there might not be anything to bring back. And so I said, do what you think is best. Because I was raised by my grandmother, and she's always told me about the creator, God, whatever you want to call it. There's a deeper happening, you know, there's a higher power than us. And so that's where my first thought went. I knew that I was going to speak to somebody who was mightier than man. And so that evening I went and I had a conversation, and I said, you save my son, and when the time comes, I'm yours to do it as you please. And I knew that he was going to be fine. And everybody was still upset. Family members were still upset. And I just knew, I just had that, my intuition told me that everything was going to be fine. And it was through that positivity, that power of thought, that belief is what I know for a fact is what has helped my son to be here at the age of 21, who the doctor said he had 10% chance of surviving. He wouldn't be able to talk, he wouldn't be able to see, he wouldn't be able to have a good quality of life. And yes, he is in a wheelchair, he's got cerebral palsy, but he's able to have a quality of life. He can see, he can talk, you know, all the things that they said that he wouldn't be able to do. And this is the power that we can have in seeing things in a positive way, because we attract whatever we put out. Whatever we think, you will attract. It's just, there's certain laws in creation, and that's one of them. Whatever you put out, you will always receive. So this was the beginning of my journey. And it's now, with all the experience through this adventure, I am urged to share it, because as they say, sharing is caring, you know? So it's our duty to share the life lessons that we've had. And yeah, each great achievement was once a thought. Everything we see that we can see in this world was once an idea. The biggest company, the Apples, the Virgins, the Microsoft, whatever company you can think of, all of this that we can see, the internet, the computers that you're sitting in front of right now, was once an idea, was once a thought, which through work and dedication manifests itself into reality. And that's the same way, whatever ideas and thoughts that you have, you've already created it. But from when you can see it in your mind's eye, it's already a reality. It's just a matter of time before it manifests. So I want everybody to start thinking, as we're going through this presentation, of how you see yourself and your life, your dreams and aspirations. Picture it, see yourself in that moment, in that time, in that feeling, because that's the first step to achieving what you want to achieve in this life. See it, smell it, live as if you're that person already, because before you know it, you will have that life. We have so much powers, so much gifts. And the way the world is we're conditioned to be small and limit ourselves from school. I work with a lot of young people, and they tell me, about a lot of the experience that they have, where we're trying to actually create a program for teachers, because they have so much responsibility in the things that they say to these young people, which now affects their thinking. So the self-fulfilling prophecy, whatever you're told is what you're going to believe, and that's what you're going to become. So yeah, practice makes improvement. This was actually, I can't take credit for this one. This was my 11-year-old daughter. I'm sure she was 10 at the time I was doing this slide. So I said, practice makes perfect, because that's what I've always known. And she said, no, Daddy, it makes improvement. And I love that, because perfect is a myth. Nobody's perfect. It's a myth, but we can improve through practice. So in regards to it, I know a lot of people might be thinking, oh, thinking positive, but I'm telling you, the more you practice, the more you will improve. Just be conscious and be aware of the thinking. It doesn't come overnight. Your best today is going to be different to tomorrow, to how it was yesterday. But just keep trying. And I promise you, you will see improvements in your life. That's the first step, keeping your thoughts good to yourself and to others. You know, because it's been, at our age, all of our different ages, it's taken a long time for us to be the person we are now. So it's not going to come overnight in making certain changes. So be patient and just keep trying. And that's only if you want to see changes, because some people are happy where they are, that's fine. But if you truly want to see change, be conscious of the thoughts that come through, because we are receivers and transmitters of energy. So we have to also be very careful of our surroundings, the people that we're around, because energy transfers. It's not just what we can see. There's so much levels to everything. And we have to be very careful of the people we're around, because they will affect us. We've all experienced being around certain people who will drain you, who, when you leave them, it's like breath of fresh air, you know? And yeah, just be very conscious. These are very 2023, these are very special times. Just look around you. You can see the happenings in the world. So we need to start doing things differently. The power of words. The true meaning of spelling. So normally we would say, yeah, just putting letters together, but it's so much deeper than that. We are constantly putting spells on each other. We've had spells put on us in regards to the words that's been said to us, that we've taken as facts, as belief. So now we live our lives because of certain things that's been said to us. And we're bound by these words. It's time to change the narrative. It's time to break the chain of these spells that's been put on us, because it was and is somebody's opinion. So know that whatever holds you down, whatever you feel bound by, is not fact. You can and you will and you must achieve whatever it is that is in your mind's eye, whatever gift you have, whatever talent you have, you can achieve it. There's certain steps. It's not just going to come to you just to on your lap. There are certain steps, but know that you have everything within you. We live in a day and age now where we always dependent on other people and other things, waiting for people to come and save us. I promise you that you have everything. You've been given and gifts and talents that the likes that you can't even imagine. And this is why I say to people, you have to always experience new things, because you never really know what your gifts and talents are until you find out, until you experience different things, and something just clicks and you just find out you're just a natural at it, So speak with kindness, truth, and integrity to yourself and others. Remember that opinions are not the truth. It's just perspective. So like I said in the beginning, we're going to flow as guidelines, and I go off sometimes, but yeah, we try and just, go with it. Let your speech be simple and true. True greatness is simple. As adults, we always try to complicate things. That's why it says to be childlike, because children see things in a simple way. As adults, I'll give you an example. So my 2-year-old, one of the children at his nursery upset him, and he said he doesn't want to be around that person anymore. And I said, why? He said, because it doesn't make him feel good. He's a very old soul. My son is like a granddad, and it's just so simple. While us adults, we will think of all reasons why we can't do something. So true greatness is simple. So try to just think and speak in simplicity. Be mindful and bring positive words into your life. Self-explanatory. You have to be careful of not just what you think, but what you say, because it will come back, and once again, practice makes improvement. So keep practicing. Please do not look at me and think I'm coming from a teaching point of view, because I'm far from it. I'm a student of life. I'm always learning. I am far from perfect. I'm in it with every single one of you. I have good days. I have bad days. I'm not here to say this is me. I'm on top of the mountain and listen to me, because far from it. I'm just constantly learning. And that's the one thing that you learn as you go through this adventure, and you learn from experiences, and you become wise, so to speak. The one thing that I've learned is that I know nothing. And yeah, that's it. We just keep practicing and keep trying and keep enjoying the adventure. We're gonna leave some time for some questions, and there are certain words that we're gonna be going over, and which leads us to the next slide, which is characteristics of a positive mindset. Resilience, kindness, enthusiasm, courage, optimism, self-control. And all of these words come back to the same thing. They don't give up. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you've been through, know that there are higher powers at work. And you could be literally steps from getting out of that dark place. And if you give up, you'll never know that you're almost there. That your life could be so much different. And in fact, what we call challenges, which I try to call opportunities, because we learn from it, is your USP. Whatever you've been through, whatever you've experienced, whatever you've come through on the other side with, makes you an expert at whatever it is that you've been through. So with that now, you can actually set up your own if you're that way inclined. A lot of people think, oh, I haven't got this degree, I haven't got this qualification. But believe me when I say life experience is greater than learned knowledge. So whatever you've experienced, you wonderful people, whatever you've been through, whatever challenges, whatever opportunities, whatever lessons, whatever mistakes that you've been through, that is your niche. Imagine if there was, when you were going through the most challenging times in your life, that somebody came to you and said, oh, I've been through something similar. I can guide you and help you through that situation. How much money would you give for that guidance? What would you make sure that you're able to get to acquire that knowledge to get you through that situation? And that's the same way you can capitalize on your experience. And you can now share and help others, because that's all we're here for. People live for the material things and live for the cars, the money, the houses, but that's piecework. The only thing you're going to be remembered by and for is how you made people feel. How you were able to impact the world. You're not going to be remembered about that person because you had a lot of cars, the nicest cars, that you was rich. It's so much deeper than that. So we have to think outside the box. And we're going through, I hear a lot of people talking about how challenging these times are. But I promise you, there has never been a better time to be alive. It's your birthday, ladies and gentlemen. Today, being here right now. Do you know what a blessing it is to wake up in the morning? Do you know that as soon as you open your eye, it's your birthday? Don't wait every year. What are you waiting for? Now, right now. To be honest, I don't really care what you're going through. We're all going through something. Every single person has a challenge situation. But know that once you are here right now, you have an opportunity to change, to learn, to make a difference. Do you know what a privilege it is? And we always forget the small things, you know? We always forget the little things. To be able to see, to breathe, to talk. I was speaking to a young man I said to him, we're so lucky in just life. We're so lucky. We have so much to be grateful for. There's people that will give their right hand to have what we have. And he said, there's people who don't even have a right hand to give. There's people who can't even, the things we take for granted, there's people who can't even do it. To be able to see your family, there's people who can't see. To be able to think, there's people who can't think. To speak, to share your feelings with your loved ones. But we live in a day and age now where it's just, we don't see the value of the simple things. So we have to think outside the box. And every single morning you wake up, give thanks, gratitude. That's if you've got a pen there, that's the first word, gratitude. It's a great virtue. Have an attitude of gratitude. Because we forget, and it's a lot of the times I've done it. I'm not here just pointing the finger, because when you point your finger, you got 3 pointing back at you. That's something I learned. So you can never, everything itself, it's within. It's never outside, because we're always looking to blame other people for how our life is, the situations we're in. But we have to always look within, because everything comes from within. Our whole life, how our life is, the situation you're in, comes from within. Oh, I like this one. Embrace your vulnerability. Okay, so I'll give you a little backstory about this one. So my wife came home with this trolley and my mouth dropped and I was like, what are you doing, babe? Seriously, like, what are you doing? You don't need that. She was like, oh, it helps. I was like, please. And I was just, yeah. I wasn't impressed, to say the least. And then the car broke down. And who had to use the trolley? Yours truly. And I thought it was, in fact, I'd just been to an event and one of the things that they were talking about was embracing your vulnerability. And it just so happened that life sent me a perfect opportunity to learn. And here we go. So when the car broke down, I looked in the cupboard and that's what I had to embrace. Oh, I embraced it. Called my daughter downstairs. I said, come take some pictures. I'm going to put this on a slide. And so for me, life was always about being macho, being the man, looking a certain way. And I had to let all of these things go because that's all fake. Trying to be something for somebody else, for other people, how people see you. It's the things that you're most scared about and that makes you the most vulnerable is your greatest asset. So be comfortable being uncomfortable. Embrace the perfection of being imperfect. Be yourself. And as you can see, that's me being comfortable, being uncomfortable. In fact, it's not even now. I'm past that now. I'm past that. And so I've been told that I have not got that long. Hello, are you there, ladies?
We are here, Marvin. Ooh.
So should I carry on going? How are you all finding it? I hope I'm not boring you.
It's amazing. It's great.
Very inspiring.
Thank you.
Love it.
Appreciate you. So ladies, let me know. What are we gonna be doing like a Q&A?
Hello.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's
Still
a man here as well.
There's a man here as well. It's not only ladies.
Oh, my apologies. My apologies. I was speaking to the ladies I work with, actually.
Hello, everybody. Just want to say thank you, Marvin. There's a lot of comments in the chat agreeing with what you're saying and inspired by what you're saying. I just wanted to facilitate any conversations. Does anyone have any questions for Marvin at all?
I just said, Marvin, while you were talking, my son just popped in. He think you're great what you're saying.
Excellent, excellent.
He's gone now. He didn't stay on it though.
Okay, I hope he liked it.
Can I just say that I think your words today have been really helpful with our current situations in Croydon?
Thank you, thank you. That's exactly what the reason why I do what I do. It's just to share and just to empower and encourage, you know, because especially with what's going on in Croydon, especially, it's very challenging. And I've believed now that we have everything within us, you know. A lot of the times I was always waiting for the council to help, the government to help. And then I realized that I can do it. And that's the same for you. If I can do it, I promise you, you can all achieve whatever it is, you know, and just know that there's better days, seriously. And that's one of the things that I didn't actually, I want to give some tools in regards to these challenging times, because it is challenging.
I was just going to say, Marvin, in there, they did ask, how do you build resilience?
So for me, I would say there's steps to it. It doesn't come overnight. Nothing comes overnight. So what I've learned is that something which has helped me on this adventure is to detach myself from the outside world. So I used to always, when things were good with my wife, that's when I was happy. When I had a certain amount of money in my bank account, that's when I felt good. My walk was a certain way. It's like, hello, everybody, how are you? And when money was low, my head was low. You know, and it was everything outside of me would affect how I was inside. But there's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be bills. There's always going to be situations in regards to different relationship problems, be it partner, wife, husband, be it children. There's always going to be some kind of challenge in our lives, but we don't have to let that affect our peace within. You know, like the storm, the eye of the storm is calm. It doesn't matter. The outside is raging, but that peace within is what I've learned. And this came with practice. It didn't come overnight. So regardless of whether me and my wife are having problems, challenges, we've had an argument, that doesn't change how I am inside. That's just external. Whether there's too many bills for that month and there's not enough money to pay all the bills, that doesn't affect me.
Change how you feel inside.
That doesn't take my peace. And I think there is something in society now where we have to protect our peace we have to be so strict with that inner peace, you know. And so know that whatever is going on the outside doesn't have to be what's going on inside, because you know that when you start feeling negative within, you're going to attract more negativity. So we have to know that whatever we put out, we're going to receive. So
sorry, Marvin, which will lead into this is why I'm putting in, sorry. So how do you rebuild and let go after trials and tribulations? How do you let go and rebuild?
So I always will reflect on the situation, the challenge, and look for the lesson of that situation. So I have lost myself many times, but I always say you have to lose yourself to find yourself. And so where I had, for instance, what I said earlier in regards to having a guideline, a plan. So a lot of the times, if you're too rigid in your thinking and you always are set in whatever your plan is, so, and it deviates, life has a way of sending curveballs. And if that plan doesn't go to plan, then we get stressed and we get worried and we get depressed and we get anxious. Always try to be flexible. Yes, it's good to plan. It's good to have a guideline, but that's all it is, a guideline. Be flexible in a way that we know nothing. Life is all knowing. So life will always guide you to where you need to go so that you need to learn. And that's why we all go through so many different things. So I would say flexibility is the key to learning, to going through life, being able to be directed and learn from wherever life sends us. Life is an entity in itself. I don't know if does that help or make sense?
That does, thank you. I've just wanted to read out some of the comments.
Please.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with the mouse, so I'm trying to find my resilience here. Marvin, I echo what you said about whatever you've been through is a niche. My lived experience propelled me to start a new social enterprise to support other women within my community and beyond. Giving back. Well done.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Well done. Well done to you.
Walk with me, Angelique said, powerful. I've got my trolley. I love it.
Angelique, oh, I love you, Angelique.
Thank you, don't feel alone there.
Let me know when you've got yours out and I'll bring mine as well.
Yeah, let me know as
That's
well
a
so I can
plan.
get out of the way.
That's a plan.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Absolutely.
I remember once I was in Croydon with the trolley, and this guy, the way he looked at me, he was and my walk, I even walked even taller and stronger.
Excellent.
Thank you. Milton, hi Milton. I believe resilience is gained through lifetime's experience, although dictionary terms is to withstand difficulties and toughness and barriers. I think our community know about resilience. So yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I think any useful tips to grow? I'm assuming to grow within themselves and grow. John, I think it's John. Do you want to say what you expand on that? Is it like grow within yourself, grow from the trials and tribulations?
Yeah, it's just how to sort of rebuild yourself and what tips to move forward.
I think, as Marvin kind of said, I think he's looking at a cohort of different tactics and tools. But I think maybe it's a conversation we could have maybe offline, maybe.
Yeah, so in fact, if I share my screen, yeah, thank you. I will put some of my details, my email address and telephone number. Let's have a look. We will get to
I mean, if you watch out for the next coming weeks, we're going to have a series of different workshops as well on a Wednesday evening, be it some online and some are going to be face-to-face, but we will still be looking at these things, and the workshops we will be going through will add to those tools that you will need to rebuild and build your resilience and build your self-confidence and get back into doing it as you want. So, go ahead, Marvin, sorry.
yeah. So yeah, can please feel free. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, in regards to so what was the gentleman's name? Caroline?
John.
John, yes, John. So basically, for me, when I hit rock bottom, I had to go back down to the basics. Nature is, we underestimate the healing power of nature. Try and spend some time in, whether it's the park, whatever kind of greenery, and just the simple things. Birds, stay, look at the sky. Just I had to ground myself and go back to the basics, and then that's when I realized that we are connected to everything. So for me, the sun rising is just one of the most greatest wonders for me in the world, in this creation, right? And when I realized and connected the dots, that the same power that created the sun, the moon, the stars also created us, it gave me a different perspective on life, on myself. You know, so it's just enjoy the simple things and be gentle with yourself. But with life, there's always has to be balance. So also know when to give yourself a stern talking to, which I do many times. But also be gentle with yourself and know that we're a work in progress, and that there's a lot of challenges that comes with this human condition. You know, so yeah. I hope that helps, John.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
No problem at all. I appreciate you, John. So, Caroline.
Thank you. What else have we got here? Have an open mind helps. I think that's what you kind of related to, being flexible.
Yeah. So I'm going to take this off the screen now. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Does anyone have any questions from about, you know, just generally from the group? One at a time. We can only take one or two because we're coming to an end.
When will the future face-to-face workshop be held? When is the next one?
Yeah, I look forward to meeting you all face to face. That will definitely, yeah. The energy, keep it flowing.
What we'll do, we'll send around the timetable for the next few weeks, and then you'll see the next live one. So we actually are going to be having we've got a relationship coach. She'll be here in person at the Wellness Centre. She'll be also at the Celebrating Love workshop, which will take place next week, Wednesday, 5 till 6 p.m. It's online. It's about Valentine's Day and celebrating all types of love. So hopefully you guys have registered your place for that workshop for next week. I will send it round to everybody that's here on the Zoom. We have to do what on Shelley chapter. Because I couldn't admit people on here.
Thank you. Sorry, we're just trying to find a flyer to show you what's coming up on Friday, so apologies.
In the meantime, does anyone have any further questions for Marvin? Bye, Angelique. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you, Angelique. Take care.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. All the best. Wonderful. Thanks, Marvin. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Take care.
All good.
Yes, so is that in regards to the upfront conversation event?
Thank you, Marvin, and bye-bye. Thank you very much for your presentation. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, I'd like to echo that, Marvin. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Patricia. Appreciate you. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Trying to see what it is.